Hello, everybody, and welcome to Round 11 here at Pro Tour Magic 2015 in Portland. I'm Brian David Marshall. I'm joined by Pro Tour Hall of Famer Randy Buehler, and we're watching a couple of tournament champions here. World Magic Cup team champion Timothee Simonot versus Pro Tour Dragon's Maze champion Craig Wescoe.
There is a lot at stake in this round. I mean, we keep talking about, the races and platinum this, and here's what's going on. Craig Wescoe, currently a platinum pro on the strength of that win at Pro Tour Dragon's Maze last season. He's not gold yet. He actually has to put up a top 25 performance just to stay on the gravy train. If he wants to be invited to all the Pro Tours next year, he's got to get 9 points this weekend. That means top 25. So he's in decent shape, 7-2-1. He's in position, but he's got some work to do. Now, you want to look at the other side and talk about pro points and levels. Timothee Simonot was not qualified for this tournament last week.
Got himself to...
He went to Grand Prix Boston.
And got himself
put up
to silver?
19th place last weekend at the Grand Prix, which got him to silver. Oh, hey, I'll use my silver invite to go to Portland. He'll also get an invite next year because he'll be at least silver.
Right.
Deep run for him, he can parlay silver into gold. That's how you do it, right? I'm going to guess he needs a top 16 for gold. Yeah, he'll need a top 16 to get to gold. But 8-2, he's in pretty good shape.
Meanwhile, both these players got started playing white-based decks. We see a research assistant followed by a Chasm Skulker for Timothee Simonot.
Chasm Skulker is so good.
Craig Wescoe had no play the first couple turns, but now he's got a Heliod's Pilgrim, which has fetched a... I didn't see what he fetched.
Oh, God. Neil Reeves is facing off against Goblin Kaboomist. That seems hilarious. I don't care what happens. Yeah. I'm sure he and Neil Rigby are having a good time on their back table.
Divine Favor was the card Craig Wescoe searched up with the Heliod's Pilgrim. So not any of the broken or options available.
Yeah.
We see both of these players ended up in white-blue. So Chasm Skulker gets a counter when Simonot drew a card for the turn. By the way, he's also got the Research Assistant, which draws him a card for the looting
It's a
ability.
nice combo.
So he gets to actually start comboing that at some point when he has nothing else to do.
Yeah. Statute of Denial is also a nice combo there. That draw a card, discard a card bit will also trigger Chasm Skulker an extra time.
Yeah. And by the way, if the Chasm Skulker dies, it gets a little...
Squids everywhere.
It's like low tide. Oh, wow. So, we're talking about Divine Favor before. Divine Favor is a nice card to put on a Goblin Kaboomist. But the Red Paragon is also quite fine with Goblin Kaboomist, getting it out of range of dealing 2 damage to itself.
Oh, my.
You give it 3 toughness.
Doesn't matter if you win or lose the coin flip
Doesn't matter
anymore.
whether or not what happens. I mean, it could matter.
Crazy.
I think it's to do 1 point somehow, but...
No, that's a nice combo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give the guy an extra point of toughness, and he doesn't care whether he sets off the grenades or not. The landmines, sorry. The landmines. Those landmines also, by the way, they're artifacts. Scrapyard Mongrel is a big fan of the Goblin Kaboomist.
Interesting. I haven't had that come up yet.
I have. Like, Kaboomist, don't care. Died the first time, don't care. Scrapyard Mongrel's happy anyway.
Okay, so Sungrace Pegasus is the only attacker at this point. Moving things in opposite directions. Craig Wescoe on white mana. Has a couple of blue cards in his hand. He's got... and he's drawn a Welkin turn.
And an island.
He's got a Research Assistant of his own. He's got a Void Snare. He's got Oppressive Raise. So that Void Snare can actually just bounce that Chasm Skulker and...
Doesn't trigger it?
Reset that whole process. It's the loudest feature match area you could put together. Neil Reeves.
Sure.
Zvi Moshowitz.
Yes.
Brian Kibler.
I'll buy that. Not in the category with the other two, but
no,
sure.
No, different. I mean, just sort of like, you always hear them sort of floating from the background.
Yeah.
Don't do it. No.
So Research Assistant loots away a Essence Wall. Gets up to 4. That's a 5-power blue creature. Always scary.
Only one you can have.
Four landmines in play against Neil Reeves, but no longer a Kaboomist in play.
Or a Paragon.
Yeah. Guessing there was a connection there.
So in comes the Chasm Skulker. In comes Sungrace Pegasus. And Welkin turn says, I'll block.
Okay.
And Timothy accepts the trade. Gets in for 5. He's going to be able to get that up to a 7/7 next turn, assuming Craig doesn't, bounce it, which I feel like he has to here. Oh, he's also got an encrust.
Oppressive raise on the research assistant.
Yeah.
Response.
Yeah, we're going to see one last perusal of the library. Yep. Gets the Skulker up to a 5. 5 counters. It makes it a 6/6. Does Craig have the second island for his encrust? Doesn't matter. He's going to void snare here.
I think he would rather have encrusted.
Oh, but negate.
Wow. That's a big game. Yeah, this game's all about the Chasm Skulker. Second island for the encrust. Wesco's got what? One more turn? It's going to hit for 7. Craig's at 14. Really needs the island for that encrust.
No. You have to use a whole half of your Kaboomist to kill my 4/4 intimidate guy. I feel so bad for you right now. Except for not in any way, shape, or form.
I think at this point, Neil is officially holding court.
So in comes the Skulker, 7. Craig falls to 7. Definitely the best I've seen a Chasm Skulker look so far. Usually it's, dead.
But it's a must-kill threat.
Yes.
I've seen this. Like, the kind of guy you figure you have to kill it. They usually, whatever you have, you kill it with. If you can't, this happens.
Right. Razorfoot
It's
Griffin.
gigantic, and if you kill it now, it explodes.
Razorfoot Griffin and Research Assistant. Soul Mender and Research Assistant.
Yeah, no
from
second
Craig.
island.
So he's just holding that encrust. The card viewer and the hand viewer are identical.
Wall of Frost not really part of the plan for Timothee Simonot.
No, and we might see that get looted away.
His looting costs 7 mana now.
Well, he's got a new Research Assistant he just played.
Oh, sure. Oh, pretty nice match also in the feature match area, by the way. Stanislav Sivka and Zvi Malshewitz are playing for their table, trying to 3-0 their pod. They're on X3, so it's a big game.
Yeah.
The fourth loss is often the one that eliminates you from top 8. Some chance of X4's getting in. We had like 350, 360. Seems like somebody will make it at X4, somebody will miss at X4. Lots of people will ID into the top 16. That's probably how this plays out.
Craig Wescoe just has to put his Heliod's Pilgrim in front of the Chasm Skulker. Falls to 5 from the attacking Griffin.
Was that an island? Wow, Soul of New Phyrexia keeps coming to the top of Huey's library. It's a good one. He's apparently doing more work. Huey going to defend the King of the Hill title twice?
Oh, so lucky.
Unprecedented.
4 landmines and a good
No
land.
island here for no. It's another Heliod's Pilgrim. And across, I'm wondering about the 2 Heliod's Pilgrims if the best card you get the first time you play it is Divine Favor.
Was he already holding
But
the
I guess
encrust?
he must have already been holding the encrust, yeah.
It's not awful to get oppressive raise sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, and the oppressive raise.
But yeah, Craig's in jump block mode. And that Griffin means may not even have to connect with the
Right.
Chasm Skulker. May be able to just
Even
win
if-
it in the air.
Even if you deal with the Chasm Skulker, you also need to find something to do with the flying creature. Yep.
But look how
Draws a
look how big
card.
the effect is. Except for these are free.
Yep, discards Glacial Wall.
And you already killed this guy.
That's it.
It's the same thing here.
Don't call me names. Isn't that a, don't you, isn't there like a new
Neil Reeves had better hope there's not a new rule, actually.
Neil Rigby seems to be enjoying the banter
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, Neil will go blow for blow with him.
Is this the battle for Neil supremacy?
Yes.
The winner doesn't have to use their last name, just gets to be Neil.
So Wesco has still more auras in his deck. No, he does
No.
not. So now we know the extent of his aura collection
Got them all.
is an oppressive raise, an encrust, and a
Divine favor.
divine favor. Yeah.
You got 3 permanents. I've only got 4.
Kinsbale Skirmisher comes down. Doesn't really like his job description.
This guy.
And do what?
Here we go. So, here we go. Just a 12 power Chasm Skulker.
No big deal.
Possibly kill an RPG.
Yeah. He says you got me.
There you go.
So Timothy,
Wants to parlay that late silver.
Yeah.
A little bit more. He's not done.
I mean, maybe trying to follow in the footsteps of Jeremy Dizani,
Oh, right.
who scratched out a silver in that last Pro Tour. So we have a couple messages to bring you, and then lots more Magic, as all 4 tables are still going.
Outfit your Magic collection with the newest Magic 2015 core set accessories from Ultra Pro. You can see the full array of card sleeves, deck boxes, playmats, and portfolios of your favorite Magic artwork at ultrapro.com. If you dream of playing on Magic's international stage, head to your country's World Magic Cup qualifiers. These events are held across 3 weekends in August and September, with the winners earning invitations to the World Magic Cup in Nice, France. Visit wizards.com/WMCQ for more information.
Randy Bueller, you've been. I think we are going to peek in on one of our other matches, and you've been listening to them.
Yes.
So why not watch them?
Starstorm?
Neil Reeves.
These ones? Okay.
We're just going to let these guys go.
God damn it.
No swearing on TV.
What? Sorry.
Gosh darn it. I say Fraggle Rock. That's what I say.
Oh, no.
So Neil slogged his way through all
Yes.
the landmines.
It would've been
Yes.
great if I'd gone to fifth land.
4 landmines in play
early.
by the time
Concur
Neil
with that
managed to
assessment
get
of
the
the
Kaboomas to
situation.
Paragon. Well,
Yeah, the Paragon and the Kaboomas killed itself. Exactly.
so Neil slogged through all 4 landmines.
Neil
Neil Rigby comes up with Cone of Flame, but no big deal.
How do you beat the Ernham Jin, bro?
Neil Reeves wins the
How do
game
you
anyway.
beat it?
Yeah.
It's actually really difficult for my deck to beat.
Yeah, he had.
That's why it's in my deck, bro. You think I don't know this? Like, here's the curve. I'm up here. That's right.
All right, we're trying
why
to
you get to
pick a
write the
match. I think
best
we're
when
going to
you
go
play
check in on the King of the Hill table now, where we have William Jensen trying to defend his kingdom
My deck's so bad.
against Matt
It's
Sperling.
not bad. I just want to be good cards.
Sounds like Sperling's on 8 in that game, and
That's still game 1.
that is, I think it is still game 1.
Yep.
And Jensen's on 13. Very crowded board. Things are looking quite messy.
Not final. thinking.
So he just sent in a bunch of his creatures.
Remember when Huey drafted this deck and we thought maybe he could squeeze a 2/1 out of it?
Yeah.
And then Huey was what was the adjective he used? You used to describe his reaction to his deck?
Oh, just mortified.
Mortified
Final answer.
at how bad the deck was that he'd put together on Pod 1 on day 2 of the Pro Tour.
Yeah. Well, we're working a soul of new Phyrexia here. So there are no good blocks for Matt Sperling, who's at 8.
Solo for X. Take 6 or 2. That's what I have.
So he falls to 2, but doesn't really doesn't lose that many creatures because they're bigger than Huey. So he's really just trying to squeeze through a couple points of damage here and there.
He got through 6.
Yeah, next turn he's probably just attacking with everybody. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Huey's going to 3-0 with that deck?
Yeah, I mean you actually said, when
If
you
you
were
don't have any
looking
good cards, just beat down?
yeah, you just beat down.
Wow.
Why did you waste like a third pick?
All right, we're going to get to look at all 4 of our tables here.
This
we're
one
gonna
is Zvi and Sivka?
Yeah, and a battle of Pro Tour champions.
Indeed. Sivka's still live for Player of the Year, but you know what? He really needs to win out.
There's a constricting sliver.
This is game 2, right?
Okay.
Who won the first game?
Combat, right? So that's fine. You go. Who won game one?
Who won game 1 of this? Stan Sivka won game 1.
Stanislav Sivka up a game.
Up a game and up a constricting sliver right now.
Yep.
Working a rummaging goblin in his blue-white deck. I mean his red-white deck here against the blue-white deck. That sounds like a negate for the solemn offering.
One card. One card.
And
So he's attacking into the golem.
yep. And what's the white creature there?
It's a Razorfoot Griffin.
What's the other white creature?
Oh, I believe it's a Johnny's Pride Mate.
Okay.
So
Yes, it is.
life gain would be scary. Zvi doesn't want to block the Pride Mate. He wants to go to the air and block the Griffin.
So yep, and then
Oh, Forge Devil. That was the trick.
yeah.
19. You go.
Okay. All right, we're going to go back to our main table between
Yeah, that-
World Magic Cup champion Timothee Simonot.
That one's sure looking good for Sivka. Zvi's out of creatures.
Yeah. Pro Tour-
Stanislav's got 4. Zvi's only got 1 card in hand. Yep, let's go back.
Yeah, we're already there. Here comes a welcome turn for Craig Wescoe. Finds his island a lot sooner than he did last game. And a research assistant for Simonot. Looks like he has a... he has one of his Heliod's Pilgrims. He has a Kinsbell Skirmisher. Happy to just get in for 2. He's going to play his Tinkerer. I guess the plan next turn is to skirmish the Tinkerer and run it into that research assistant.
Seems like a solid one.
Yeah. We're going to get, we might probably see a Coral Barrier here from Simonot.
Yeah, the flyers in Simonot's hand seem better than anything Craig's got going on. How quickly can he get Illusory Angel onto the table? Not very. It's a 5-drop with that hand?
Yes.
And that's assuming he's patient?
And you're fine with it as a 5-drop.
Yeah, 4/4 flyers are worth it. Yeah, Coral Barrier with the squid.
A squid theme in Simonot's deck. Skirmisher, fly, attack for the 3/4. Yep. No blocks for Simonot. He falls to 13. Craig always looks so vindicated anytime he gets to attack and do damage. It's like, yes. Island walking squid. The crusty old veteran Razorfoot Griffin. Set to that first. Does that like go back to Tempest or something? What was the first set that card appeared in?
I think it's earlier. Was it one of the Griffins? The Griffin theme was in Mirage.
Oh, it might be. Yeah, I guess it is. It goes.
I mean, there were a bunch of Griffins in Mirage. I think this was one of them.
I remember Razorfoot was one of the original Magic Online. Like, you know, the code names were all like.
Oh, those were all
Magic.
from Invasion.
Those were all from, yeah.
Those were all from Invasion. Yeah, Gainsay just started in Invasion.
Yeah, yeah.
Cuneo just still has his name that he was randomly assigned for the beta. It's a pretty good random assignment there.
Yeah. It's almost like he knew somebody.
No, I'm pretty sure that was random.
Okay. Here comes the Pilgrim.
3 cards.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Sivka did, in fact, beat Zvi Mauschwitz. So Stanislav keeps his top 8 hopes alive. Zvi with X4. If he runs the table, maybe he can cross his fingers and hope for tiebreakers, but seems unlikely with the 4th loss this early.
So Craig Wescoe fetches up a Divine Favor. Assume we're going to put that on the welcome turn and bash in for 2 or 3. No. Just passes the turn. Seems like he's way ahead on the race if he attacks there.
Alright, I'll take it. 16. 16, 17?
Yep, there we go. Research assistant. And there it is.
Yep.
There's the illusory angel. Oh, Craig was waiting for his Johnny's Pride Mate that he's holding in his hand. That's why he didn't want to play the Divine Favor that turn.
That makes sense. Meanwhile, though, 4/4 flyer on the other side.
Yeah.
Divine Favor welcome turn is no longer big enough.
Yeah, he can make himself a 3/4, but that's not going to do it.
Simonot's basically got his whole hand in play now, though, right?
Yes.
Got an island to get
he's-
the research assistant started, but everything else is in play. Craig does have the Pride Mate Divine Favor trick queued up for this turn. Looks like that's what he's going to do. Still goes for welcome turn,
Yep.
even though it's only a 3/4.
It lets him keep the Razorfoot Griffin at bay at least.
Sure.
19, so it's
13, let's go 19.
okay.
But, you know, he's still got that ticking, squid that just has free reign to do a point of damage every turn.
You're like, I figured there's a reason you didn't play this last turn.
So that was the reason. Okay.
Timothy says that was the reason, but it doesn't sound like he necessarily agreed here. So we know the squid's attacking. We're going to actually go with the research assistant here. Couple of lands that can be pitched. Yep. And he just attacks with the 1/1. Feels no need to run his illusory angel into, any kind of convoke trick.
Sure.
One card.
What would the trick be, though? I mean, Ephemeral Shields just allows the Welcome Turn to block and survive. Tinkerers is not in the air.
There's the Convoke Banishing Light.
Go.
Another research assistant. There must be some great grant money going around.
Lots of research.
But it's just kind of sleepery looking little card in this set that does a lot of things you really want it to.
It's a little slow.
But you know what? It also slows down your opponent.
Kinda. Yeah, no, I mean, 1/3 is the right stats for that guy.
Right.
That ability's awfully expensive, though, in a format where people would prefer to just be beaten down.
Another Coral Barrier for Simonot.
Yeah, it doubles the clock. I mean, 1 point of Island Walk when you're on 17 is whatever. You can ignore that. The game's gonna end. Something else is gonna happen in the next 17 turns. 2 of them, though. And the biggest flyer on the table.
Which Wescoe is sort of sufficiently,
He's threatening enough to leave the 4/4 on
sufficiently
defense.
threatened. Something might be up. What will... So he's just going to attack for 2 here? No? He plays an invisible card off screen. I just got asked about this card yesterday, the Amphin Pathmage, by Aaron Forster. He's like, have you played with an Amphin Pathmage yet? Which tells me, that it's a card he quite likes. There you see, it taps the Welcome Turn, and suddenly...
it's not Pathmage, it's Capsho Kitefins.
Oh, that's Capsho Kitefins.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
thought.
sorry.
Amphin is...
Oh, the Amphin's the blocker, the unblockable guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's the 4-mana activated.
Yes. The Kitefins.
Take 8 and 9.
Yeah, 9 searching and go.
Taps the flyer. Gets in for 8. And now any creature he plays...
Do you think Simonot had the flight to Portland booked when he booked the flight to Boston? He's from France. I mean, all his buddies were flying over, stopping at the Grand Prix on their way to the Pro Tour. Did he have the Portland flight booked? Or was he heading home? Was he just going to hang out for a week, help his buddies play test the Pro Tour, and then run a Grand Prix, maybe?
Yeah, maybe he was coming here for the Grand Prix.
Maybe.
Maybe he figured, I'll come out for the Grand Prix.
The Para Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And hey, if I manage to top 32 Boston, I get to play the Pro Tour. It's quite the parlay.
Yep.
Top 32 the Grand Prix, qualify for the Pro Tour, and now looking pretty good to be 9-2 at the Pro Tour. I mean, any top 25 finish here gets him an invite. Then he can use a silver invite separately.
He's got a silver invite that gets him 2 Pro Tours. Gets him this one and one at next year.
Exactly. Running out of room to put all of his creatures. That's usually a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
read the
Kite Fins,
Fins.
Craig? It's not good news for you. Oh, Matt Sperling has leveled things a game apiece against Huey.
Sounds like he was able to negate a Mass Calcify.
That seems like a pretty big negate.
We've seen a lot of negate doing a lot of work.
We have. First time that card got cast against me, I was kind of annoyed that my opponent had it in their main deck, but it seems worthy. So many things that happen that you want to negate.
Yeah, Wescoe is really a turn away here. He's at 1 life. He's got 2 Island Walkers, a lot of flyers,
Capsho
Kite Fins.
This is a little late.
Yeah. Extends the hand.
Wow.
So Craig Wescoe falls to 7-3-1.
Yep.
Still alive for top 8.
Still alive, yeah. He
Right,
needs to win out for top 8.
He has to run five wins off here.
You know what? Honestly, he would take a 4-1. If you offered him 4-1 for top 25, he gets gold.
Right.
4-1 is 4 Pro Tour. Well, he's silver anyway, so he's already invited to one of the Pro Tours next year. But he basically gets 3 Pro Tour invites with a top 25 finish. So yeah, top 8. He'd love top 8, but he really, really needs the top 25.
So we're looking back in on the Battle of the Neils. And things look pretty good for Neil Reeves here.
Yeah, that's a lot of pork.
Yeah, he's
got
attacking
the red
into
zone.
just a Rummaging Goblin and a oddly untapped Thundering Giant, although you can understand why given the board state. Just rare that you see him untapped.
Sure.
And in comes everyone.
Wow, Rigby's holding Belligerent Sliver, Stoke the Flames, Cone of Flame, Hoarding Dragon, Mercurial Pretender, Constricting Sliver. That's a lot. Hoarding Dragon, Cone of Flame, Stoke the Flames. Just stumbled on mana.
Stoke the Flames.
Oh, there's the Stoke the Flames.
4.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, eats. Oh, and there's Miner's Bane.
Bunch of-
Two lets.
Yeah.
Neil's at 9.
Too little,
Yeah,
too
too
late,
late.
says Rigby.
Well, actually,
I mean, Cone's pretty good here, but there's 3 toughness creatures. I guess he can get
so wait, can
the
he?
Bane, the Wayfinder, the Mystic, but
If
then
he's constricting slivers. Oh, he's at 5 now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought the life total had
Which
been
might have been
refreshed.
just
No. Yeah, like, understandably, but yeah. No, just desperately searching for land.
You hear Neil say, "I thought you had an Ace of Spouts."
there you go.
All right. So we're gonna be able to look in just as we go to the third game between Matt Sperling
King of the
and
Hill on the
William
line.
Jensen. King of the Hill on the line.
And who's going to win Pod 1?
right, Pod
3
1 on
0ing
the
Pod
line.
1 is often the sign that your
A
Pro Tour is
hallmark-
going
a
really well.
hallmark of
you
future
3-0
top
Pod
8
1,
success.
You're probably going to the top 8, indeed.
Right, because at that point you have like basically you can take 1 loss, 3 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses.
I mean, Huey's 10-0.
Yes, I know.
Matt 9-1 still. Neil, by the way, is 9-2 now. He's still only got the 2 losses. He's 6-0'd limited. Neil Reeves.
There's the coral barrier we were looking at in the other match.
Neil Reeves calmly wins a limited PTQ. Shows up to the Pro Tour, just 6-0's limited.
Yeah, and he said anything less than 5.
Anything less than 5, but he just got
It's just-
6.
He didn't quite say I have to hide my face, but that was really the implication.
Yeah.
So no blocks, no attacks. I mean, no attacks for Huey. Who sort of, matched or trumped at every creature front. And we're able to start island walking with the squid. And an Aeronaut Tinkerers comes down. So we do have a Pillar of Light. We do have a Sanctified Charge. We do have a Negate in Jensen's hand. He has some game to play here.
Some. Peel could mess up a Sanctified Charge.
There's a Bronze Sable.
The Tinkerer does have flying, thanks to the Bronze Sable. Yeah, it looks like Huey got some early beats in with Sperling down to 13, but it's Sperling who's able to attack now. Both the Island Walking Squid token and the Tinkerer.
Sure, go.
He's also got Neil. Neil. I've got Neil's on the brain now. I'm just looking, Necrogen Scudder, Carrion Crow, a bunch of flyers in Sperling's deck. You see the Crow in play right now. But he just seems willing to trade that with a Welkin turn.
Pat Cox defeated Ben Friedman, by the way, so Friedman did not 3-0 this table.
Okay.
Friedman is 9-2 overall, as is Pat Cox. With them starting with different records, you didn't get a clean sort of both the 2-0s playing. There were 3 2-0s.
So if Sperling loses, is that it for the X1s?
Yes. If Huey wins this game, he has a 2-match lead on the field.
Wow.
Greg Orange defeated Pierre Mondon, so Orange stays at 9-2. Desani won. He beat Paulo. So Paulo is 6-4-1 now. Jackson Cunningham defeated Zach Jesse, so Jesse 0-3'd.
To avoid the crow and the squid.
Okay, so Crow and Squid are getting into the voided by Jensen. Yep. And that just opens up the door for a welcome turn attack. Gets Sperling down to 11.
11?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, we're either going to have the two of these guys tied for first at 10-1, or we're going to have Huey with a 2-match lead on the field.
Divination from Sperling.
Between rounds, I was watching John Finkel, Owen Turnwald, Huey all talking about the round. I'm like, these guys are 26-4 between the three of them.
So Carrying Crow comes back down. Jensen gains a little life. He's been making the most of those Soul Menders. He didn't want to play them.
Do what you got to do. He has found a way to win with this deck. I mean, on the one hand, these cards look a little bit outclassed here, but it's been true in every round.
Yep,
And he's still sitting on the Sanctified charge, right?
he is.
I think he'd like to be able to Sanctified charge and negate. I guess he's got Sperling tapped down to just one swamp right now, so I don't know if that means now's the time to try to set something up.
Right, and then Sperling, knowing about the Sanctified Charge, is forced to block, and then maybe just eat a bunch of guys. He's still going to lose his welcome turn in that transaction.
Yeah, the welcome turn does get the power toughness bump, but it does not get the first strike because it's not white.
Although I guess he could decide to use his Selfless Cathar instead. Yeah, he's
Or in addition. I mean, you
yeah.
can even... Although, I mean, sacking the white Cathar is not ideal when you're charging.
No, that's true.
Frosty.
Resolves.
So
Yeah,
Frost Lynx comes down,
Oh, you're welcome.
taps the welcome
Oh, the
turn.
blue creature. That seems okay.
13.
It's the only flyer, though.
Yep. So fly for 4 with the Tinkerer and the Carrying Crow. Research Assistant. Jensen gains a life with Soul Mender. You know, does that card is that card a time walk? Does it add like one whole turn by the end of the game?
Soulmender?
Yeah.
You counting the Sanctified charge? Makes it even better with Sanctified charge. He gets in one good swing, too. Meanwhile, Frostlink's widely considered the best blue common in M15.
We've not seen a lot of it in the televised matches.
Yeah, the blue cards you want are that and the welcome turn.
Yeah, right. You heard a lot of early reports that said the blue decks really aren't that good unless you have 3 welcome turns.
Right. I mean, it's booster draft, right? It's self-correcting. If nobody wants blue, then you can get all the Frostlinks and all the welcome turns. Then your deck is quite good.
Just full card for Sperling. Looks like he's got a Peel from Reality, 2 Peel from Realities.
You're at 4 cards now.
And cross Zathrid Skyblade or Slyblade.
Yeah.
Just casually tapping his flyers. Yeah.
Go to 9.
15.
No blocks, go to 9. But Sperling's going to be able to do a little bit of work with those peels and the frost links.
True. Oh my. Huey drew a card. Huey drew a card that could change everything.
Oh, boy.
Can he set it up?
He just needs a little time.
Well, I mean, he's on 7 mana. He could just run out Mass Calcify. The problem is he ran it into a negate last game, so he's a little hesitant. In fact, Sperling does not have the negate right now. Be kind of ironic if he digs for it. I don't know if Jensen can wait for 2 more lands to Mass Calcify with negate backup. I mean, that spell, if that spell resolves on this board, it just wins the game.
Yeah.
Jensen on 9 though, like I'm not sure he has time. I mean, I guess Sperling is sitting on doesn't have a negate, but he does have 2 peels from reality. So he can bounce 2 white creatures from Huey's board, save 2 of his own guys. Maybe it's not completely backbreaking. Still super powerful.
But should Sperling decide he needs to like peel a Welkin turn?
Yeah, if Sperling starts playing Frostlink shenanigans.
Yeah.
Sperling attacks
I think you're
for
gonna
4.
You're going to see Jensen
Block with Welkin turn?
block with Welkin turn, maybe try to force a peel from reality.
Yeah, force a trick of some kind. That makes a lot of sense. If he can get Sperling to tap mana and try to open a window for just a back-breaking Mass Calcify. Yeah, double block.
Thinking resolves.
The Pegasus on Aeronaut Tinker is a little interesting. Is he going to Cathar? Is he going to charge?
Now he's thinking about no blocks.
Yeah, I mean, the 1-2 in front of the 2-3 is a little weird. Welkin turn blocking.
I think you just put the turn in front
Yeah,
of the
turn in
storm,
front of Crow.
in front of the carrying crow.
I agree. I would put the turn in front of the Crow.
No, he does block like that.
Pass priority.
Yeah. Sperling knows something's up, so he's like, I'll pass priority. Let's see your trick. It's a Mass Calcify. So
It's the right. It's
I
the
mean, I'm sorry, it's the Sanctified Charge.
Sanctified Charge, yeah.
The obvious trick. So this makes the Pegasus big and first striking. The turn is still a trade. Yeah, he's trying to bait Sperling into blowing his peel from reality.
And that's going to work.
Yep.
This creature on your Welkin turn.
Which is about as well as that could work out.
Which creature appears? 3/2/3.
Aeronaut Tinker.
You got it.
Oh, is Sperling has the Angel? Is he going to slam Angel here? Wow. I mean, negate
Yep.
would be
ahead.
awesome for Sperling, but I don't think he has it.
Gets
Huey
an
just
illusion.
goes for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't it time to just go for it and hope there's no negate? I mean, Peel will take a tiny bit of the sting out of this.
Gains a life at the end of the turn.
You already untapped.
I think my hands are on it.
Oh,
Sperling's going to hold him.
Sort of like half on.
No, you actually did a full
Okay.
untap.
okay.
Oh, the rules lawyer.
Well,
No life for Soulmender. Huey had untapped. Judge was on Matt Sperling's side of that little skirmish.
Cards?
do players sometimes let their guard down about those things when they're playing against a friend?
Not Matt Sperling.
Well, I meant like in terms of like, it's rare to see Huey just be pretty casual about
Sure.
something like that.
Sure. He's got the negate that could defend this Mass Calcify from a counterspell.
But not the mana.
But not the mana, and he's still slow rolling it.
Yeah.
He's not interested. What is that?
That is
Oh,
the
Pillar of Light.
Pillar of Light, yeah. So he's doing that on the Illusory Angel.
Wow. Again, trying to get either a negate or a second peel.
Sungrace,
Yep.
Pegasus, Illusory Angel.
Here's the second peel. I would not have had this much patience. I would have just slammed Mass Calcify. This is super impressive.
Cards? 3.
Oh, Jensen has a negate
he's,
here.
He's thinking about negating this, yeah.
Probably worth it. Yeah, why not negate, right? It means you could definitely kill the Angel. Keep your guy in play. He'd still have the mana to play the Welcome Turn. Yeah.
Yep, he does negate. Gets in with the flyer,
Tens.
gains a life, goes to 10. Replays Welcome Turn,
Okay, go.
which he's clearly going to put in the way of Carrion Crow, especially if he's planning to calcify next turn.
Right. Sperling drew Rod Feaster Maggot, looks like. Or has that been there for a while? He did not draw negate. That's the important card.
Right. No, yeah, he drew out Feaster Maggot. He had Zathrid, Slyblade, and Crust and Tinker. Lining up an attack. There are 9 minutes left in this round.
It's game 3, right?
It should be enough time,
Yeah,
but
it should be. They have slowed down a bit for sure. It's a big match.
attacks with Frost Lynx and Carrion Crow.
Block. Excuse me. I'll block the crow.
Yep, blocks the crow
Go to 9.
and activates the Soul
Hard to
Mender.
forget that.
Activates the Soul Mender mid-combat.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to forget to do that.
Yep.
Sperling replays the Tinkerer. Does not play the Slyblade.
Or
Just leaves mana untapped.
the Maggot.
Yep. Not that he has anything to do with his mana, but he can look threatening. Now, right? Now Huey's plowed through all the tricks that he can. Does he have a second Sanctified Charge?
Yes,
Cards right
he
now?
does.
I have 3.
Pull the trigger, right?
So what happens if he attacks here with everybody?
Well,
then
the Sable is giving the Tinkerer flying, so the attacks are not good. I mean, he can Sanctify Charge.
That's what I'm
your
saying.
point.
I'm saying if he sanctified charges.
I mean, what if Sperling just doesn't block?
Nope.
No, there it is.
Okay.
Mass Calcify. Destroy all non-white
Loot.
creatures.
All right, loot in response. Is it the ironic negate?
No. That would have been savage. That would have been Mad's deck trolling him. Can you troll a troll? You can troll a troll, right?
Oh, yeah. Trust me.
Wow. This game has been a thing of beauty. I thought Huey was dead. Sperling's creatures just seemed to outclass him up and down the curve.
Yeah.
Huey got some beats in, but it was Sperling on offense with 2 tricks in his hand.
Sperling's on 4. He's going to be able to play a Rot Feaster Maggot.
But there's
and
still a
Sly-
Sanctified Charge.
And a
and
Slyblade.
There's still a Sanctified Charge on the other side.
You have 1 card?
Yeah, William Jensen calmly played a trick to bait Peel from reality, played another trick to bait another Peel from reality. You know, negate probably would have been pointed at one of those.
Right,
you
maybe,
know,
or maybe
and then
trying
even
to bait
negated.
it. He may have been trying to bait
He
the
was trying to
negate.
bait whatever
Yeah,
was there.
yeah.
Trying to bait the negate.
You're blue. You have something.
Right. He got through all the tricks in Sperling's hand and then calmly played the one-sided Wrath of God. Thing of beauty.
So Maggot can take him up to 8 here if he removes. All right, he's going to use the
Does he crust, I think.
encrust on something. Yeah,
The
so
Pegasus?
encrust the Pegasus. Yeah, and then Maggot remove his angel.
Your only creature is the welcome.
Oh no, the
angel's
angel's already
already
gone.
removed.
Yeah, that was exiled by Pillar. So I think he's got a 3 that he can get with the Coral Barrier.
3 life.
Yep.
7.
He goes to 7.
Maggot can successfully block.
Red clock back there, is he?
No, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The all-out attack with a charge is just lethal. Yeah, he'll block whatever. Charge. Ball game.
6.
Oh, 6. I did the math wrong. Oh, 6 and lose the maggot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
William Huey
Wow.
Jensen, with the deck he was mortified to play.
Wow.
Mortified.
You 3-0'd with that deck?
The Soul Menders, he was just,
Wow.
yeah.
That was insane.
And then, and to be fair, he said, "Look, if my deck comes out in the right order, I can grab some games. I have these plays, but it's not like the matches we watch where like his deck came out that way.
No.
He ended up having to cobble a win out of,
Yes.
you know, a bomb like Soul of New Phyrexia, or bait out some tricks so he could set up his Mass Calcify. Just absolute pleasure to watch. Defends
Yes.
King of the Hill yet again. Goes to 11-0. Heading into the last 5-round stretch of Constructed, where really he just kind of needs one win.
Yeah.
One win to lock up, you know, the 5th top 8 of his
One
career.
of the next 4. 1 and 3 is good enough from here. 1, 3, and a draw. Maybe even 1, 4.
Yeah, 1-4 could do it. Okay, let's send it down to the floor. Tim Willoughby, how did he do it?
Hello and welcome to the feature match area. I'm Tim Willoughby, here with William Jensen. Now, yesterday, the King of the Hill seat kept flitting around and, you know, all sorts of different people were in there. Today, you had a slightly patchy draft by your own estimation, but 3-0 with it.
Yeah, I think maybe just the decks overall were a little weak. I got pretty lucky against Owen in the previous round, and, you know, had the cards broken a little differently against Matt right there, I would have lost 2. You know, my deck is okay. Like, my nut draw is really good. So, but I have like, you know, 5 23rd cards in my deck or whatever.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about patience with you, because that last game, you had the Mass Calcify for a little bit of time, and the sequencing on it to get past the Appeal from Realities and so on just worked out perfectly. What was going through your head in those turns once you drew the Calcify?
Well, I figured I would be able to win the game if I could ever get Calcify to resolve. So one line I could take was try to get to 9 land and Calcify with Negate. But he had Negate in his deck too, and that's what I was most worried about. But I thought I was getting to a point where I was going to be like too far behind and going to have to go for it anyway. And given that he was looting, I thought that, you know, I actually looked at his deck and I was like, you know, that's like half a deck there. He might not have drawn it yet. So I decided to go for it because of all those factors. And luckily for me, he didn't have the Negate. And then, you know, I was able to finish it off from there.
So you'll take a little bit of luck. And actually, in terms of the way that the pairings have gone in the various draft pods, there's a little bit more luck in that, as far as I'm aware, there's nobody on an X1 record after the draft, which means that currently you're 2 matches ahead of the field going into the last constructed rounds.
Well, that's cool. I hope I don't play Matt again.
That, of course, a possibility given that you can play people in different formats. But with just the constructed rounds to go, you're playing the black-white deck. Just a little bit more work to do and potentially another Pro Tour top 8.
Fingers crossed.
All right, we're going to head back to the booth now. I've been Tim Willoughby here with William Jensen.
Well, there you have it. You know, he's like, well, you know, the deck's got some good cards. You know, now that I've gone 3-0. But, you know, he did say, you know, 18 cards he really liked, 5 23rd cards. Sometimes those cards get it done, though. We're going to get ready for standard
Especially when you're
now.
William Jensen.
Yeah, especially when you're William Jensen. We're going to, this is the end of Limited. We're going to head into Standard. I think we have a little break coming up, maybe a little bit of information that's going to be coming out here.
I feel like the breaks at these Pro Tours are almost the most exciting times. We announced the Hall of Fame yesterday.
Yeah.
We get the Pro Tour sites, right?
Yeah.
Pro Tour sites and the Grand Prix schedule.
Yeah.
I'm
excited to find out where we're traveling to next year.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, let's send it back to Rich Hagon at the news desk.
All right, thanks very much to Brian and Randy in the booth, bringing you all the limited action here from Pro Tour Magic 2015. We are about 6 minutes away from the unveiling of the complete Premier Play schedule for 2015 in the company of the Director of Global Organized Play, Alain Bergeau, from Wizards of the Coast. So set your watches, make sure you are here in 5-6 minutes time to get us there. We're going to show you another little segment from Inside R&D, our chance to go under the hood of what makes Magic 2015 such a special core set. So here we go. Last time I checked, we were about ready for some red hot black cards. Here we go.
It may be the color of darkness, but we're not going to keep you in the dark. Let's talk black.
Black is the color that kind of knows what it needs to do to get the job done. You know, it uses death as a resource, and it can kill things. It warps the mind. It can force the opponent to discard their hand. You know, it's brutal and it's ruthless, and it has an army of deep, creepy, crawly creatures of vampires and zombies and things just to put fear into the opponent.
Nixilis Unshackled is another one of our external designer cards. This was made by Brad Muir, who came to us and sort of said, I want to make a card for Commander. I want to make a big black demon that's a legend, and that makes you play Commander a little bit differently, that says your tutors are no fun, let's do something about that. And we said, well, you can make a big black demon, but we have this story in mind for the set that's Garrick, and it involves Nixilis, and so you're going to have to make us this fallen planeswalker, so there's going to be a lot more pressure, a lot more people looking at what it's going to be. And we went back and forth on that, and we ended up just with this wonderfully cruel card.
The number just kept getting higher and higher, and it started off and it was like the can't shuffle, and I was like, well, demons don't always say they can't do something, they just say there's a cost. And so we had like 1 life, 2 life, 3 life, and kind of near the end we're like, well, what if it was just like 10, what if it was like 10 life? What if it was just much higher? And so we end up now with this, you know, this huge number on this card. And so as many demons tell you, you know, you can do something, but there will be consequences.
Zathrad's Slyblade, another one of our external designer cards. This one was by Rob Pardo. And he said from the beginning he wanted to make an assassin. And I said, okay, well, there's a couple different ways that Magic can do assassins. And he said, well, I want it sits in the shadows and can't really be hurt until it jumps out and attacks something, and then it's vulnerable. And I was like, okay, that's a very different take than how we usually do these things, which are much more focused on, you know, the Royal Assassin, I tap to destroy something. And this one wants to get into combat, but also really wants to protect itself. And so I worked with him, and we went back and forth on, like, how do you translate that idea? And hexproof is not something you normally see in black, but it was just this flavor connect of this idea of that assassin in the shadows that's going to jump out and get you.
People keep saying, I didn't know black had hexproof, and the answer is it doesn't. They're like, why is that okay? And the answer is, from time to time, we try to do cards in which the overall flavor really, really fits the color, even though some of the individual choices don't fit.
It was a lot of fun, limited, especially, to be playing against this card, and, you know, your opponent, you attack into it, and your opponent, you know, they're like, okay, well, I'll block, and I'm going to jump out of the shadows, and you have the card. You just have the card, you're like, all right, I've got the, you know, ulcerate. Just get your guy, and it really feels great.
In Garrick's Wake we're trying to, that's one of those cards that we're trying to tell the story of what's happening to him as he's wrestling with black mana. And in this card, you can tell black mana, like Garrick's kind of moving back and forth in between being in green and then being in black. In this card, he is shifted over to black. He's become this predator. He is now, the biggest game for him are planeswalkers. It's no longer controlling the beasts of the world where he was in mono green. It's now, he's taken off heads, and planeswalkers are the ultimate, you know, heads to take. And the art is awesome on this. If you look close, you can see that, you know, his actual veins are reaching into the ground and poisoning the land.
Necrobite is one of those cards that we just keep coming back to and keep coming back to, because you want to give every color a little bit of a combat trick, but you want to make sure it's really doing it its way. And Necrobite is kind of the perfect combat trick for black. So we'll just keep on pushing that button since it's just the right card.
Caustic Tar is a card I really loved in Odyssey block. It is a fun limited card. It is kind of the top end of a black deck's curve. And when we kind of work on getting decks to work in limited, we figure out what the color pairs are going to do. And in this set, white-red was auras, and black-white was gain life, kind of a gain life, lose life deck. And this card really fits in this awesome space in the middle because you have Heliod's Pilgrim, who's this white creature that searches out an aura. Well, what is the best aura to get in black-white? Turns out it's Caustic Tar. Many limited games have been ended by just that kind of late game, okay, I'll play this guy, oh, Caustic Tar you.
One of the things we did during Innistrad was Jenna Helen was the creative representative. She would come up with just cool names for cards, and literally in the meeting we're like, okay, here's a cool name, what does it do? So one of the cards was Black Cat. We're like, okay, we gotta do a Black Cat. Like, that's symbolic of horror. And literally in the meeting, we're like, okay, well, what would a Black Cat do? We're like, it's unlucky. Well, how do you represent unlucky? Well, what if you have to randomly discard something? And the card was made top down from, what does a Black Cat do?